Hi guys, it's Nurse Tiff and I'm back with another video. So in this particular video, I'm going to talk to you guys about my experience with NCLEX and my results of the exam. So if you guys watched my other video, I went over how I prepped and how I actually studied for NCLEX. And now I'm going to talk to you guys about the actual exam and how it was for me. So back in December is when I decided to take NCLEX. I took it around December 18th. I was a nervous wreck. I had changed my dates maybe 3 times because I was a little bit nervous. I was scared that I wasn't mentally ready, but I had read a lot of blogs and stuff like that and different forums online and how people suggest that you actually take it fresh out of school, instead of actually waiting a longer time because you tend to forget the things that you actually learned in nursing school. You want to do it while it's kind of fresh on your mind. I have found that actually worked for me. It was more advantageous for me to do it than continuously wait. I feel like the anxiety that you have about the exam will never go away. And I feel like the longer that you schedule yourself out, you psych yourself out. You overthink, you overanalyze things, and it's just not a good position and mental space to be in. And think about it like this: the sooner you take it, the sooner you know, and the more you can plan for the next time if you need to take it. And even if you don't, you can start working faster. So I scheduled myself for December 18th. The day when it came, like I said, I was a nervous wreck. I was sweating bullets. I had so much anxiety. I was just like a mess. I kept telling myself that you got this, you came this far, this exam is just one last piece that you need to do to be able to be a registered nurse. If you got through school, you can pass this exam. That's what I kept telling myself. I kept telling myself over and over and over again. So I went through the process. I finally sat down for the exam. My exam was 75 questions, so I got the minimum amount of questions that you can get on the NCLEX exam. But my test was super hard. It was super hard. It was so hard that as I was going through and answering the questions, I was just like, Lord, it can't get any harder than this. I just really just need this to be over. So I was hoping with my fingers crossed that I would actually just finish the exam. So I got a lot of select all that applies on my exam, which is not abnormal. I knew to expect some, but at least a third of my exam were select all that applies questions. So in my mind, I felt like if I was getting a lot of them, I must have been doing good with them because they kept giving me more. I also had a lot of EKG strips, and I'm happy that the professor that I had kept honing in those EKG strips with us, letting us know which ones was the ones that we needed to know the most. Those EKG strips was abnormal arrhythmias that I was seeing on mine. Also, I had math problems on my exam. So I don't know if any of y'all nurses schools are like mine, but we had to have a medication safety exam every quarter before we started. And that came in handy because I did have some math questions too. I also had a lot of peds and OB questions on mine as well, which was kind of shocking for me because peds and OB was never my strong suit. I did good in those classes, but those were my least favorite subjects in nursing school, and I was shocked to have gotten so many of those type of questions on my exam. I also ended up getting the questions at the end that were optional that you could have opted out and did, but I went ahead and did them anyway. I guess they're test questions that they're trying out to see if they should include in the next type of NCLEX when they change the exam. Those I didn't really care for doing because by the time I finished my actual exam, I was pretty much burnt out and tired mentally that I really didn't want to answer any more questions, but I went ahead and did them anyway. So after the exam, sitting around waiting for your results, it's the most brutal thing that can happen to you and that you can experience. It's literally your mind does not stop thinking about literally just that. And they make you wait at least, I think, 48 hours before they release the results to you, and then you can pay to have them. So I'm not even gonna lie to y'all, I was Googling stuff how do you know you passed your NCLEX? before the 48 hours. Like, I did the Pearson VUE trick to see if it worked for me, and it did work for me. So I'm not saying if it's a fluke or not, but it did work for me. I did it and it kept showing me the good pop-up. So I was kind of like, once I got that, I was like, okay, I know I passed, but I still need to see for sure if I actually passed. So I went ahead and paid for the results, and it did show that I had passed. So UWorld did work for me. That's what I used to study primarily for NCLEX. I would encourage anybody who is a student to purchase it. It's very helpful. The rationales are very thorough, and it's definitely mimics the actual NCLEX. If not, it's just a little bit more specific and a little bit more detailed. So that was my experience with NCLEX. I'm not gonna keep talking because I feel like these videos can get super lengthy and super long because I talk a lot. But if you guys have any questions, don't hesitate to ask me below. If you have any subjects or content that you want me to talk about, just drop them in the comments. And if you are a first-time subscriber, thank you for subscribing. And if you are new to this channel, consider subscribing. And until next time, guys, bye.